Hello everybody, my name is Gentle Page, and today I will be looking at LEGO set 75104 Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle. The set came out in 2015, where it retailed for about 120 euros, and I got mine for half the price at 60 at the convention I went to last week. Sadly, I had some content made of that where I showed what I all got, and then I edited it, and I lost my footage. So this is one of the sets I got there. And first of all, it's a pretty great set. It comes with 6 minifigures, and let me just start off with those. Also, this is the biggest set I have reviewed this yet, and it's a really big one, so I hope it will all work out. Let me take this off and show you the minifigures. So, for the 6 minifigures, we have Kylo Ren on the left, the First Order Officer, General Hux. We have First Order Stormtrooper, it's also an officer with the little pauldron, and 2 First Order crew members. Let's get the crew members out of the way first, and then go on to the more interesting figures later. In my opinion, that is. So, as for the exterior, they're all the same, just the face print underneath. So let me just take a look at one of them. He has some pretty cool printing, like this huge over-the-top headgear piece, and it looks pretty cool. Has a small blaster, nothing much. His face print, also nothing that interesting going on, but also it isn't needed. Other face print, they're just using the slightly normalized face prints, but they are fun. Well, fun. They are good to have more of them. Although I do say I already have a couple of them and I didn't need any more, so. But it's great to get 2 of them if you did need it. For the Stormtrooper, it's a regular Stormtrooper, although he has like this pauldron, which is really cool to have at least a Stormtrooper with a pauldron. I know I have also one with a white pauldron, which I gave to like a other sort of figure, a clone trooper, to make him like a general. I'll probably do the same thing here, because I believe they are cooler than having the stormtroopers. And the commanders of the stormtroopers, especially in the First Order, should be especially Captain Phasma and like Commander Pyro, which they haven't made a figure of. But for the face print, it's regular clone trooper. For the back printing, nothing that interesting, but First Order figures, stormtroopers, look pretty cool. First Order Officer, it's a female, like a quite older female, which we don't get a lot of from LEGO, especially not in the flesh tone, so it's good to have. And you can also see on the torso with like the feminine waist guard things, whatever they call. You know what I mean. And pretty cool head with the printing of the First Order in a dark gray color. Good to have another of those. For General Hux, you can see his significant, the sideburns, also pretty great printing. He looks pretty accurate. His face looks good. Head thing also looks good, and it's a pretty nice figure to have. And for the last one, we have Kylo Ren. And this is now the 3rd version of Kylo Ren I have, and like the last version, I believe, therefore. So, or technically it was the first, but I now have all of them. And you can see his helmet. It's the original one, without all the damage and everything. Some cool printing, looks really accurate, also for the back printing. This amazing short cape, which is really accurate, although it makes him look a bit more derpy, especially with this helmet on. So I therefore especially like his alternate attire, where the helmet is underneath and you have the hood. And this looks really cool, like especially this face print. It looks really accurate, really cool. And yeah, also his crossblade lightsaber it is really cool, and I will display it like this because it's therefore the most unique version of him that I have. But those are the minifigures. Let's go on to the build. And as you can see, the build is taking over the whole screen. And first of all, this is its landed mode. I'll give a bit of a spin by, where it is pretty big. Comparing it to Kylo Ren, you can already see, well, you can see it until here, and it's even a bit taller. So I will kind of adjust it, where you can see it extends quite a bit beyond it. And that's the first thing I will say, placing it like this. The first thing of the action features, it's really hard to do. First of the action feature, I'll have to take it off then. First of the action features is on the back right here, where if you have him right here, you can spin it around and then extend the wings. You can also lock it in place. Same goes for the other side. And now you have the wings in their extended mode. And now it's even taller than it was. As you can see, still compared to a minifigure. Really tall ship. But for the wings, they're quite detailed. You do see the Technic structure right here, which isn't that bad, to be honest. Just know that you will see it. Also, although they are locked, it's still a bit of wiggle room in there. So if you have to set, it can be that it will be adjusted like this. That's also why at the start, when I rotated it, I did it kind of enthusiastic, because if you don't, it could be that they're like set up like this, and then you would have to change them manually, which isn't the best thing. But as for the back of the ship, you can see the exhausts, which look really cool, and it has like a lot of intended greebling, especially on the top of the ship. It's probably better if I twist the phone, where you can see it looks really cool to have this greebling. Wings look really well, they are pretty sturdy actually. They look pretty cool, they are pretty sturdy. And I do, however, want to get the elephant out of the room. They aren't accurate. They're more like for the they were like created for a pre-model, so one which they didn't know exactly how the ship would work, where the wings should be tilted a bit and should be in like a V formation, but they aren't. They are in the tall version, which is also the same as I have one of the Hot Wheels versions of it, and it's also the wrong color. It should be significantly darker than it is. Wow, that was really hard word actually. And what also isn't accurate are these little flaps on the bottom, where they shouldn't exist. And this isn't able to do with one hand, so like this. They shouldn't extend, they should just not exist. Placing it down is I am able to do that with one hand. But that's it for like the exterior. Also, you have this great interior view. Should be red, but Lego made a better version, or more accurate version. I don't have it, so I can't say if it's better, but made a more accurate version of it, where they changed all the bits and pieces that weren't accurate enough, because this was made for like, well, a no, I can't think of the word, like a model before it was actually in the movie. But it also has an interior. So for the interior, you can first of all open this bit, where you can see it opens right here, and you can see there's room for a couple of figures inside of here. And let me just get Kylo Ren to pilot the shuttle. And then let's say putting General Hux on the back of him, right there. And this ramp will go on later. But I thought he wouldn't be able to stand, but he can. So there goes that point. Also, you can go into the back of it, where right there, this piece, if you lift it up, there's room. Well, there should be room to put a couple of figures right here. Where, let me just squeeze him in here. I can't sit him down because really awkward positioning, but you can fit like 2 figures. But as I said, you can fit like 2 figures sitting next to there. And in the front bit, you can also place them on the ramp and sit them around. So with like a little bit of work, you can put all the 6 figures in this set. And let me get them out of here for a little bit. Okay, that will come next. And let me twist this set to its back to show you one other feature it has. Flip the wings because then it's easier to move. First of all, I just pushed off this piece and I will relocate it when I know where it has to go. But you have this red knob, and when you pull it down, this ramp will come off. It's now on its side, so. But when it's placed, you can try to see that there is a ramp. Again, the ramp isn't big enough for a minifigure to walk underneath. It's like to maybe crawl underneath would be possible. But it is pretty cool that the ability to pull out the ramp is there. And let me just readjust a bit and then go on to my final thoughts. So for my final thoughts, it's a great set. And yeah, it is a really cool set to have. I mean, it isn't the most accurate version of this ship there is on the market, but if you can get it for the price I got it for, which is like half off for 60 euros, and apparently you can also get it for even cheaper, it isn't that much of a wanted set, which is pretty weird because I do believe it's a great set to have. And I am currently placing it to my other first order sets I have, and it looks really cool next to the TIE Fighter and the Transporter and even the Star Destroyer of there. And it's a really cool one to have. So for the figures, it's a pretty great figure selection. Although I would have hoped like more troopers would be better than the crew members. But that's mostly a gripe against the battle pack for not including 4 stormtroopers, but also having crew members in there. But it's a really cool set to have. And there are some videos, especially the adjustment of the wings is one which I should say which I would advise with you to change. Also, just put away the underneath parts, change these things to red, which is pretty easy to do. And that's like mostly it. If you do those, then and you can look beyond that the color isn't perfect, then you have a pretty great set. And so yeah, if you get a chance to buy it for a reasonable price, then I think you should. If you have to choose between this one and the newer one, I would probably advise to go with the newer one. If they are the same price, yeah, go with the newer one. In my opinion, it looks more accurate and you don't need all the adjustments for it to work better. With this one you do. So those are my thoughts. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a like. And I do have 2 speed builds of it because it's a pretty long one. So I have a part 1 and part 2. And you can also see those in my description. And if you liked it and you want to see more, then please subscribe. I will put up more content. and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.